Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages. It's that time once again. It's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is April 13th, 2024, Saturday afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. Welcome. We have an interesting show for you today, chocked full of news articles and clips. And we got a lot of read heavy news articles today. So I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. Actually, I lied. I'm going to waste a bunch of time. First off, let me just say that, I've been doing kind of well for myself lately. I still can't afford a damn car with the interest rates the way they are. But, instead of buying a car, I've just been taking the money I've been saving and kinda blowing it a little bit, and, wound up getting that puppy. If you've been following me on Twitter, you saw me complaining that this thing's like 140 bucks now. It was 25 to 30 bucks when it first came out, quickly jumped up to 80 because it was a limited release, quickly jumped up to 80, and now it's going for 130 bucks on eBay, and yeah, it was becoming so hard to find that I'm like, I'm not gonna waste any. I'm just gotta get it. I have to before it's like 400 bucks. So I went ahead and bought it. I against my better judgment. I didn't have the money to spend, but I did it anyway. And then I went to the comic shop today, and I while I was at the comic shop, I browsed some upcoming DC comics. I guess they're doing some rebranding and some reprinting of older stuff. And it got me thinking about entertainment. And we cover entertainment a little bit on this channel, and I cover comics even less, but bear with me because a lot of you are familiar with the culture war as it pertains to movies and television and books. And comic books are no different. Let me go ahead and do the spiel I usually do at the beginning of the show. If you're out there, please say hello in the chat. We usually drink a little whiskey. If you say hi in the chat, you talk to me in the chat, I'll try to show some of your messages on the screen and give you a little shout out and toast. Drinking some Willet Pot Still Bourbon. This isn't the first time today I've drank a little whiskey. I had some while I was out and about earlier. I had lunch before hitting the comic shop. And yeah, I don't go to comic shops often because the shit I'm looking for, it's like either the comic shop's going to have it or they're not. And usually I'm looking for really old DC comic trade paperbacks. We got conspiracy music lurking out there on Rumble. Cheers and welcome, brother. And a cheers and welcome to everyone else out there. But it got me thinking about the current state of comic books. Honestly, these facsimile editions where they reprint everything, including the ads. See these old timey ads? They got to be making more money off of those than they are modern comics. Go ahead and put that back in camera angle. I like having that on camera. Um, but so it got me looking at the solicits, and it got me realizing, yeah, that they're printing a lot of new stuff, and obviously DC Comics, they're going to continue putting out just garbage. But at the same time, I have been following. We got Sanglan86 over on Rumble. Cheers, brother. Welcome. I've been following the comic industry really closely since about 2015, 16. And they are reprinting shit that they haven't reprinted in like 20 years. In fact, in the last 3 months, I have paid a lot of money for these two comics. This one is being reprinted in a Batman Elseworlds book. And this one here is being reprinted. This was like 70 fucking bucks on eBay. And now it's going to be like 30. And that's the cover price. You might be able to get it cheaper on Amazon when it gets reprinted here in a few months. They're reprinting entire events like 0 Hour under this new DC's Finest imprint. I guess they're doing away with Black Label. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it seems like now they're putting their important stories under DC's Finest instead of Black Label. Speaking of Black Label, I also picked up off of Amazon. I picked up All Star Superman, and of course, it gets to my house, and there's a gigantic dent in the bottom of it. Gotta love that. Thank you, Amazon. But yeah, it got me thinking. The only way these comic shops can survive is on this secondary market, and they sell most things at cover price, so they can't even jack up the price like on this Batgirl to like $80. No, they got to sell it for cover price. Most of them do anyway. And so for me, who that's what I'm looking for is old, out of print DC comics, particularly Batman related or Superman related stories. I try to find the oldest comic shops I can, and there's not a lot of old comic shops left. COVID and the shitty comic industry did a 1-2 punch, and all you have are these new comic shops that don't have anything older than DC New 52. Anyway, sorry, had to go on a little comic book rant there for just a minute because I'm spending my money, not really getting what I want. Anyway, folks, so let's get into the news. Obviously, the big news of the day. I'm sure you've seen the headlines. Here's Joe Biden. Here's Joe Biden yesterday.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't. Mr. President, what's your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't.
Are American personnel and assets at risk, Mr. President? Mr. President, are...
Okay, so that was so threatening, such bravado. I'm sure Iran was shaking in their boots. Shaking in their boots was Iran, and so much that they went ahead and launched drones at Israel. Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps said it had launched dozens of drones and missiles at Israel. It avowed for this is from Reuters, by the way. This is their live coverage feed. They vowed retaliation for what it called an Israeli strike on its Damascus consulate on April 1st. Iran said its action on Saturday could be seen as concluding the matter. Israel's military said that more than 100 drones would take hours to reach their targets. Biden has returned to Washington and is meeting with his national security team. U.S. and British warplanes were involved in shooting down some drones over the Iraq-Syria border, Channel 12 reported. And Benjamin Netanyahu has convened his war cabinet at the military headquarters in Tel Aviv. The European Union, Britain, France, Mexico, Czechia, Denmark, and the Netherlands have all condemned the attack. And here we have a live view of Tel Aviv's skyline. I guess that's from 37 minutes ago. I don't know. The sirens from the IDF. So we have people on Twitter claiming that hackers have hacked Israel's radar system to aid with this drone and missile attack. So now we just have to wait and see what the West decides to do. Are we officially in World War III now or not? One could hope not, because this is some dangerous fucking bedfellows that we're supporting here. The U.S. military says it was not consulted before Israel attacked the Iranian consulate. So we should stay the fuck out, right? If we didn't get a say in how this shit kicked off, then we should stay the fuck out of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've seen the other news in celebrity deaths. O.J. Simpson has died of cancer at age 76 this week. And now, according to ESPN and the AP, O.J. Simpson's estate is going to fight financial payouts to the Brown and Goldman families. Las Vegas, the executor of O.J. Simpson's estate, says he'll work to prevent a payout of a $33.5 million judgment in the wrongful death lawsuit filed by the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. Simpson's will was filed Friday in a Clark County court in Nevada, naming his longtime lawyer, Malcolm Laverne, as executor. The document shows that Simpson's property was placed into a trust that was created this year. Laverne told the Review-Journal of Las Vegas that the entirety of Simpson's estate has not been tallied. Under Nevada law, an estate must go through the courts if its assets exceeded $20,000. Simpson died Wednesday without having paid the lion's share of his civil judgment awarded in 1997 after jurors found him liable. With his assets set to go through the court probate process, Goldman and Brown families could be in line to get paid a piece of whatever Simpson left behind. Laverne, who represented Simpson since 2009, said he specifically didn't want the Goldman family from seeing any money from Simpson's estate. It is my hope that the Goldmans get nothing, he told Review Journal. Them specifically, and I will do everything in my capacity as executor of the personal representative to try and ensure that they get nothing. Sangling 86 says Biden has completed his real task. The DNC will probably flush him. Yeah, welcome to war. And then Conspiracy Music said, agreed, stay the F out of it. Cheers to both of you. Okay, so now we're going to get this whole background of the Goldman and Brown families will be on at least equal footing with other creditors and will probably have an even stronger claim. The will lists as 4 children, and notice any beneficiary who seeks to challenge provisions of the will shall receive free of trust $1 and no more in lieu of any claimed interest in this will or assets. Okay. Simpson said he lived only on his NFL and private pensions. Hundreds of valuable possessions had been seized as part of the jury award, and Simpson was forced to auction his Heisman Trophy, fetching $230K. All right. So in other Biden news, I agree with Sanglan 86. I just saw a clip on Twitter. I didn't share it and I didn't save it for the show, but I did see a clip on Twitter back during the 2020 campaign of Biden basically giving an interview saying, well, if you vote for Trump, it's a dangerous vote because Trump will have us in a world war. Yeah, here we are. In other Biden news, we have a judge denying Hunter Biden's motion to dismiss the federal gun case. From Fox News, a federal judge on Friday denied Hunter Biden's request to dismiss a gun case against him that his lawyers argue is politically motivated. The U.S. District Judge Mary Ellen Noriega rejected all of Biden's motion, which cited vindictive and selective prosecution, thereby moving the case forward to trial. The son of President Biden is accused of lying about his drug use on a federal form when he bought a firearm in 2018, a period when he acknowledged struggling with an addiction to crack. He has pled not guilty. Hunter Biden acknowledges struggles with substance abuse during that period, but his lawyers have said he didn't break the law. With another nonviolent first-time offender would not have been charged. His lawyers have argued the prosecutors bowed to political pressure after an immunity provision from original plea fell apart and was publicly pilloried by Republicans, including President Trump, as a sweetheart deal. Prosecutors have denied the case is motivated by politics. Noriega has not yet ruled on a challenge to the constitutionality of gun charges. Because, yeah, that was another motion to dismiss he filed saying that gun laws are unconstitutional. The trial's penciled in for jury selection for the week of June 3rd. Biden is still heading toward a trial in California on June 20th on tax charges. Biden's legal team in that case also plans to appeal a judge's denial of a motion to dismiss. Notice is hereby given that Robert Hunter Biden hereby appeals to the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The court document giving notice of the interlocutory appeal states Biden is alleged to have participated in a 4-year scheme to avoid paying $1.4 million in taxes while living an extravagant lifestyle. That case is scheduled from late June to mid-July. It's going to be a hot summer in California for Hunter Biden. So, folks, in the weeks since, the few weeks we've had now since the tragedies in Baltimore, with the Francis Scott Key getting hit by a barge, we've now had like 2 or 3 stories now. This next one being the third, I believe, of barges breaking loose and traveling uncontrollably across bodies of water toward bridges. So we got 26 barges breaking loose in Pittsburgh, traveling uncontrollably down the Ohio. Around 11:25 Friday, 26 barges broke free from a facility near Peggy's Harbor, a marina on the northern bank. Eoby Mills, a spokesperson for the U.S. Coast Guard, told the New York Post. Yes, Sanglant, the 4473 is unconstitutional, but it's like, how can your dad be part of a party that's like, we don't care about the Second Amendment? And yeah. I can't with these hypocrites. 23 of these vessels were loaded with dry cargo, such as coal, and 3 were empty. There were no injuries or pollution reported, but Peggy's Harbor saw extensive damage, the city said. Surely your Amazon package that you're waiting for was on that barge. 11 of the barges were pinned against the riverbank near Bruno Island. 14 drifted down the river and 6 traveled over the Unsworth Dam. Damn. There was no word if the barges that went over the dam caused damage. As a result, bridge and rail traffic were temporarily shut down. Wow. All but one of the vessels have been accounted for as of 3 p.m. Saturday, Mills said. Officials are trying to locate the missing barge before they proceed with an investigation. This is a dynamic situation, so things change all the time, Mills said. Campbell Transportation Company, a marine transportation and services business that owns the barges, didn't respond to a request for comment. The company told KDKA in a statement that it is collaborating with authorities, but noted that the incident occurred under high water conditions on the river, resulting in strong currents due to flooding. So, folks, just like when right after what happened in East Palestine, Ohio, with the train derailment, we saw a bunch of train derailments right after that. And now here we have this huge tragedy involving a bridge and uncontrollable boats. And now we're seeing a rash. It's almost like predictive programming, folks. It's like, I don't know if it's because we notice more and therefore the news covers it more. I mean, do these things happen all the time? Do we just have uncontrolled barges just floating around on our rivers and in our bays? What the hell's going on? And where the fuck is Pete Buttigieg? Okay, I'm going to just kind of flash this on because I don't know if this got my attention because of where I live. This next story. This may have just got my attention because it's where I live. But, we just had a lot of focus happening in Arizona on this abortion. Sangla says ordering old albums mostly on SACD from Japan is near addictive, but the shipping costs keep you sane. Yeah, you know, ordering old comic books on eBay, like it's literally the shipping costs that make me not want to do it. I get on there, I'm like, oh, that's not a bad price, and then I look at the ship. I'm like, well, with the shipping, it's like Jesus. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, Kansas, the Kansas governor, lockdown Laura Kelly, has vetoed a ban on gender affirming care for minors. What she called a vague bill, making it a crime to coerce someone into having an abortion. Wow. The two-term governor, whose term limited, is a strong supporter of abortion and LGBTQ rights. Republicans control the legislature, and they've joined other lawmakers across the U.S. in rolling back transgender rights. Kansas has been an outlier on abortion among states with Republican legislatures because the Kansas Supreme Court declared in 2019 that the state constitution protects abortion rights in a statewide vote. Yeah, we had a statewide vote in 2022 where the libs were so afraid that it would be constitutionally mandated. No, we were undoing a constitutional amendment that guaranteed, we were trying to undo a constitutional amendment that guaranteed the right to abortion and bring it back to the possibility that the legislature could overturn it. But our local news media called it an outright ban on all abortion. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. But yeah, here in Kansas, yeah, and you can now groom the minors and kill your babies. So, folks, how many of you folks followed the Kyle Rittenhouse trial? We've been covering here on Miles Culture Plate. I've covered some of the personalities that we got to see. I try to dip into any news that I see regarding the people who were involved in that trial. And a few months back, we covered uh, I forget his name, the couple with the guns. And anyway, and then a few months before that, we covered Gage Grosskreutz getting hit by a car. Well, now Gage Grosskreutz, who said he just wanted to be quiet and be left alone, is now giving interviews with the media. And now he's in Newsweek talking shit. So he's got a lawsuit right now against Kyle Rittenhouse. He now goes by the name Paul Prediger, or hang on, Paul Prediger, Paul Pediger, Paul Prediger. And so he's currently suing Kyle Rittenhouse. So I personally I think this is a bad look, right? If you got a lawsuit against somebody, talk all the shit you want to them on Twitter, but when you go to the media, that comes across as, one, trying to influence a jury, and two, trying to be an IR a badass. You know, as far as I know, Kyle Rittenhouse does not go to the media and blast Gage Grosskreuz's name or his other name, Predator, Paul Predator. Kyle, okay, so let's get into this here real quick. A man who survived being shot by Rittenhouse almost 4 years ago has branded him a fraud in an exclusive interview with Newsweek. Rittenhouse, now 21, came to public attention in August 2020 when he shot and killed two men, Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, as well as injured the then 26-year-old Paul Prediger at a protest in Kenosha. Rittenhouse said the three shootings carried out with a semi-automatic AR-15 style firearm were in self-defense. The BLM protest where the shootings took place was held after Jacob Blake was left paralyzed from the waist down after he was shot by a white police officer. Why does that need to be said? Has nothing to do with this. Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges in November 2021, including the charges of first-degree intentional homicide, attempted to first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, and 2 charges of recklessly endangering safety. Rittenhouse later said he supported BLM, adding that he was at the demonstration to protect businesses and provide medical assistance. Prediger, who legally changed his name from Gage Grosskreutz following what he described as post-trial harassment, told Newsweek in a telephone conversation that his life continues to be negatively impacted by the incident. It's been, for lack of a better term, pretty shitty, Prediger said of how things have panned out in the years after being shot in the bicep. Prediger, who was also armed, said he attempted to stop Rittenhouse from doing further damage. He told Newsweek that he attended the protest to provide medical assistance. Following his name change in 2022, Prediger said he managed to live in relative anonymity until he was struck by a car in a hit and run, and his details became public knowledge. I'm traumatized from it still, he shared of the shooting and the resulting public reaction to him, which he said fell largely down political lines. I mean, I'm still working through PTSD, depression, anxiety, and being able to trust people and being comfortable in public, frankly. People recognize me still, and I think I'm much more of a man of many faces compared to Kyle Rittenhouse. He's pretty distinguishable. He's got that baby face and all that. I'm still in physical pain. I've learned to work through it, but I'm missing a portion of my arm. Yeah, Sanglin86 says after committing a war crime, yes, this man, disguised as a medic, pulled a gun and pointed it at somebody's head. Newsweek contacted Rittenhouse via social media for comment and was referred to his attorney. See, he didn't blast him back. Newsweek contacted Rittenhouse's attorney via email on April 5th, 8th, and 12th, but have not received a response by time of publication. If he responds, this article will be updated. Okay, given that many of his relatives support Donald Trump, Prediger said he doesn't talk to pretty much anybody in my family anymore because of this. I mean, obviously, I still talk to my mom. She loves me. She supports me. She believes what I'm doing and believes that I'm right. But there's like the physical and mental trauma and all this shit that comes with it. It's hard to find a job. I've always got to double check what I'm doing or who I give my phone number to, who I let know where I live, things like that, because all it takes is just one person to jeopardize your privacy. Hey, JMath, good seeing you, brother. Cheers and welcome. Prediger, who's now employed as a college instructor, said he'd like to see Rittenhouse held accountable. He filed civil action with the case currently in discovery stage. Rittenhouse said he has PTSD or he has trouble being out in public. And I don't believe that because he's been out speaking since he was acquitted. Everybody protests PTSD differently. I'm not trying to say he wasn't affected by what he did unless you're some completely effective sociopath. You'll feel something for having to shoot and kill somebody. But I don't know. He had his right to do what he had to do, but I'm not believing that he was really negatively affected from this. I think Kyle Rittenhouse is the only person who came out on top. He should have been held accountable, and I'm not just saying that to be biased because he shot me, but I digress. Oh, shit. So now look, they're slamming him for advertising a body armor kit and writing a book. I never wanted to be a public figure. A blurb for the book reads, I was homeless as a small child and raised in government subsidized housing. My goal was to be a cop or a paramedic. I went to Kenosha to help my community, not become a whipping boy in the national debate. In less than 3 minutes, the direction of my life was horribly altered when I was forced to defend myself with deadly force. So much was written and said about me that was not true. Okay, is this just gonna kind of give a rundown of what's been going on? Okay, let's do this. Okay. I saw it, Prediger told Newsweek of the video footage from the event. I mean, that just illustrates my point right there. He has no original thought. The kid can't debate, obviously. Okay, no, this was the Turning Point USA debate. And so he's like, the kid can't debate, obviously. He can't handle simple Q&A. And when he's confronted with the reality of the situation, he runs away. He runs back to those people that coddled him and stroke his ego. Oh, no, they're just a bunch of liars, BLM protesters. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, he's a child. Does Prediger believe the Rittenhouse deserves a platform? No, obviously not, Prediger responded. I mean, he brings nothing of value to any discussion, and I'm not saying I'm anti-Second Amendment. I'm just saying, what does Rittenhouse have to add to the conversation about gun control? Because he shot a few people, I think it's dangerous to put somebody at the forefront who really doesn't know what they're talking about. He has no real world experience apart from that night, and that doesn't make you an expert. I mean, he's got kind of a point here. But, part of gun control is the right to self-defense. And if you're going to have a crooked prosecutor prosecuting somebody for defending themselves, then that folds into the gun control narrative. Prediger said that if he and Rittenhouse ever came face to face, he'd likely greet him with a solid "fuck you." You asked me this question 2 years ago. My response would have been a little more sympathetic, but no, anything I need to say him, I'll say at the civil trial, and I don't mean like in a childish, petty kind of way. There's nothing I need to say to him personally. It's just my goal to take him down on this trial and show the world what he is, and I think that'll speak enough within itself. So there we go. Gage Grosskreutz. Second place at the quick draw contest. Old one arm himself, still talking shit in the media. So Robert Barnes, a little bit ago, reported that the judge in Pennsylvania has ruled that Amos Miller can sell his dairy products outside Pennsylvania. That's a small win in that case. Granted, we want the state of Pennsylvania to recognize his rights as well. But the state of Pennsylvania now recognizes his right to have interstate commerce. So that's a small victory. All right. Okay, let's skip that one because we're going to need the time here. Okay, so here's okay, we're going to get into some viral videos now. We got a couple more articles to read, but I want to save them toward the end here. Okay, so here we go. Here's some lovely women's opinions.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you fuck with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
100% a bear, which is terrifying to say, but
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
a bear.
I would say a man.
Okay, so that's the biggest compliment. That there is the biggest compliment. That strokes my ego. That strokes my ego. So, obviously we're talking about gender now. And what could be more of a gendered conversation? And every now and then chivalry. Every now and then we get these TikTok videos where women ask, whatever happened to chivalry? Why don't men walk on the outside near the street and let women walk on the inside anymore? Why don't men pump the gas anymore? What happened to these gentlemanly things? And we've got another one going viral right now over on Twitter. Yes. We've got another. We actually have more than one. We have two back to back. Now check this shit out. Chivalry is in fact dead. Whatever happened to men? The days men offered women their seats. So, you get on public transport, whether it be a bus or a train. And, if you can find an empty seat, take it. And then if a lovely lady steps on, you offer her her seat if you're a chivalrous man. But it's 2024, and we've had the gender conversation beat over our heads. And so men now act like this.
Because nobody admits anything they've done! None of you want to touch!
Really? We're using horror film audio because you can't get a fucking seat on the bus? Nobody owes you anything, little Miss Entitled. Especially, you're not owed anything for being born with a vagina. Yes, J-Math. The memes are glorious. Singlet says chivalry is alive and well, and somebody has to tend to the horses. Fair enough. Okay, so we have a second similar video of women believing you should not take up space on public transport. Check this out. This is on the New York City subway.
Leave me alone.
Dude, sit over here, man. Sit over here.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Sit over here.
Leave me alone.
She's telling him to get the fuck up, and she's accusing him of attacking her.
Go away. Leave me alone. Don't touch me. Right.
She wanted to put her fucking legs up. She needed 2 seats to put her fucking legs up.
Leave me alone.
You remember the whole fucking man-spreading phenomenon? This bitch needed 2 seats to put her fucking legs up and was willing to attack this guy to get him to move. But what happened to chivalry, folks? What happened to men not giving up their seat for women? Speaking of women, women are in the workplace. I don't know if you're aware of this, but women are in the workplace. These broads are in the workplace, and they want to control the words you use to refer to them.
So I think we're about 70% done.
Yeah.
Hey, ready with the presentation?
We are on it.
Give us 30 minutes.
I'm counting on you, girls.
When you call her a girl, implying that she's professionally immature, you are being consciously gender biased. So let me just say this. If you cannot handle immaturity in a professional setting, just a little bit, we're not fucking robots. We're human beings. And every woman I have worked with has said and done unprofessional things. If you cannot handle a little immaturity, then you are not professionally mature either. And you are being corporately biased. Stop it. Infosys. I have no idea what the fuck Infosys is, but it sounds fucking evil. What is this? Infosys, AI something. Here, let me bring this up. This is their Twitter. Follow us to join the conversations on how to navigate your next. We help clients navigate transportation with AI-powered core, agile, digital, and lifelong learning. Bangalore, India. Oh, Bangalore, India. Yeah, because nobody in Bangalore, India has an improper view on gender, has no biases on gender. There's no asking for bobs in this company. No bobs. No bobs in vagine. Hey, we got neurodivergent one in the chat. Well, if you act like an adult child, don't be surprised when you are treated like one. Yeah, cheers to that, brother. Damn, I'm almost out of whiskey. You guys have me popular today. Okay, so you may have seen the title of this video, this live stream you're watching. And we have this article over on the Publica that's going viral now. Gay Spanish politician with left-wing governing party resigns after photos circulate showing him eating his own feces. A gay Spanish municipal councilor has resigned from his position after photos were publicized of him eating his own excrement as part of scat fetish. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I can even read. I'm already sick to my stomach. Upgrade them to banshees or harpies. Yeah, I usually, just call them broads. Yeah, I think, okay, so yeah, he resigned. That's all we need. He referred to as, he wanted to be used as a urinal. Okay, yeah, I'm not reading this. Suffice to say, Spanish politician, no longer a politician because he was seen eating dung. So, in other news, we had the FISA 702 bill vote yesterday. And I've got this on my Twitter, so you can follow my Twitter down in the description. And these were the people that voted no for warrantless wiretapping. Hopefully your congressperson is on this list. If not, then they probably deserve a phone call from you. They probably deserve a phone call from you. I called my Congress critter today and said that I expected better. I expected the Fourth Amendment to be followed. The Fourth Amendment says you should get a warrant before doing that kind of stuff. But apparently we have a lot in Congress that just don't believe you should have to get a warrant to spy on your countrymen. And we covered a little bit of this with Speaker Johnson. I don't remember if it was the last show or last Saturday's show. But we have Representative Anna Paulina Luna that has pushed for a second vote to be held on Monday. So this is mostly just procedural. The original intent of FISA was to be able to gather information on bad actors. However, we've seen over the years the program's been used to spy on American citizens in direct violation of American liberty and Fourth Amendment. FISA court found that the federal government violated its own rules over 278,000 times. FISA court has documented many of these abuses. According to the FISA court, the federal government used Section 702 for searches for 141 racial justice protesters and political activist groups that organized protests. Searches based on witnesses report that two men of Middle Eastern descent were loading cleaning supplies. Searches for a state court judge who reported civil rights violations to the FBI. And the FBI conducted batch searches that included current and former federal government officials, journalists, political commentators, and 19,000 donors to congressional campaigns. The FBI also conducted a search on a member of Congress and a U.S. Senator. Representative Biggs' amendment Representative Biggs' amendment would have prohibited warrantless searches of a U.S. person's communication within the FISA 702 database. This amendment, if passed, would have protected Americans and upheld the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. However, it failed on the House floor with a vote of 212 to 212. This is why I objected to the final passage of H.R. 7888. I urge a swift no vote on the motion to the table, the motion to reconsider. Is the 118th Congress going to set the precedent that we as members of Congress will be protected from warrantless searches, but that everyday Americans that we will not represent, but that the everyday Americans that we represent will not be? I urge all members of Congress to vote no on the motion to table the motion to reconsider. I'm specifically asking the 56 members of Congress who voted for final passage of H.R. 7888, reforming the Intelligence and Securing America Act after supporting and voting for Biggs Amendment 1 to vote no on the motion to table. An issue of grave importance to our constituents and their privacy and security. We must fight to get the Biggs Amendment adopted in the final passage of this legislation. I look forward to working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle in true bipartisanship to protect the Constitution and our constituents. Anna Paulina Luna, Member of Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fourth Amendment has been dead for several years. And we have Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna being one of the few representatives out there to try to stall this until we can get our voices heard. So like I said, if your congressperson is not on the list of people who voted nay, I urge you, contact your representation in Washington. Not like it does much good, because like I said, as we saw on Speaker Johnson's video, he was, he was against FISA, he was against the warrantless searches, and they took him in a back room to a security briefing, and he said, well, after what I saw in the security briefing, I've changed my mind. And now he's for warrantless spying on you. Okay, folks, in New World Order news, we have a new article over at the Daily Mail. I ate cricket meat mince and it was delicious. Here's why we should all be eating insects. In the UK, eating insects might seem only horrified showbiz personas on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here or adventurous contestants on Fear Factor are forced to do. But edible critters are an up-and-coming market. Okay, I can't seriously read this. Once again, just like the pervert earlier, I can't read this. This is too disgusting. Chili con cricket. Oh my God, she put it on a burrito and in a stew. Oh God, gross. Gross, gross, gross. Yeah, he was against FISA before he was for FISA. Yeah, we will not eat the bugs. Yeah, we will not eat the bugs. And we will not live in the pods. We will not live in the pods. Near Amazon headquarters in Belltown, $600 a month. 3 of the Somi pods are already rented out, all for working professionals. I need to fill up 1 more pod, first come, first serve. There are electrical outlets and air ventilation. You have access to the living room and bathroom. They're pretty quiet on the inside. We will not live in the pods. And, we have yet another propaganda here. And will not take.
A doctor inserts the microchip between your thumb and index finger using a device similar to a syringe. Now, these chips can actually be really helpful tools, and they utilize the same technology used in phone payments. With this tiny device, your body essentially becomes a contactless key. It can open doors using sensors and can even start a car. They last anywhere from 10 to 20 years and can be removed with a small incision in the skin. A doctor...
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we will not eat the bugs. We will not live in the pods. We will not take the microchip. And we will not take your stupid vaccine booster. Australia. Millions more COVID vaccine doses are set to expire in 2024, 2025. It would take Australians decades to work through the government's oversupply. This is Rebecca Barnett on Twitter. She posted this this chart here. They purchased 131 million doses of Pfizer as of March, and have administered only 48,000 of them. There's still 82,000 of them set to expire. Their AstraZeneca, 56 million, only used 13 million, and all remaining stock expired on the 20th of March. They've only used 26.2 of their COVID vaccinations in Australia. They're all going to expire. Millions of dollars by the Australian government wasted to push the vax. All right, folks, we're getting down to the last 10 minutes. Well, I'm probably going to go over just a little bit, but we're getting down to the last 10 minutes of the show, so you know what time it is. It's time. Oh, I haven't had my banner on all day. Well, dang it. Put my banner up. There we go. And put the Love Does Admonish logo up because it's time for Love Does Admonish. Now, if you're new here, we watch this show called Love Don't Judge on Saturdays. And it's a program on YouTube called Love Don't Judge. And the idea behind it is they get these unique relationships that people are being, quote unquote, harassed on the internet for their unique relationship. And they don't want to feel judged for who they love. And it's our determination here at Miles Culture Plate to decide whether or not they should, in fact, be admonished. Whether there might be a behavior involved in their relationship. Yeah, small blessings. That's, several million people in Australia who won't be dealing with side effects. Okay. So here we go. We're going to check this out. My wife cheated on me, so we started swinging.
This is Christina. She fell in love with Mark.
Oh, look, you gotta love the rainbow and skulls on the t-shirt. You gotta love it. This dude, oh my God, this dude is such an alpha Chad.
Christina also found she had eyes for other men.
I kept cheating so much and I just couldn't stop.
When I did find out, it was very devastating. I was heartbroken, to say the least.
Sorry,
I started thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good enough for her.
I kept thinking maybe I'm not good enough for her. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Now again, you might think I'm a hypocrite after my show the other night. Oh well. We'll get into that in a minute.
Cheating break the pair up. They decided to explore new experiences as a couple.
I just said, let's try this swinging thing.
But the pair found that their new relationship choices were not received well by friends and family.
I said, oh, really?
Did you see the pillow? Did you see the pillow? Oh my God. See the pillow? It's fucking upside down pineapples. It's fucking upside down pineapples. Now, if you don't know, there's this I don't know what you call it. There's this real life meme out there that if you go to the grocery store and you put a pineapple upside down in your cart, then that's somehow a signal to other people in public that you're open for a swap. You're open to partner swap with them. They got an upside down pineapple pillow. I mean, I'm sure it's just a regular pineapple pillow that they threw on the couch upside down, but it's like symbolism. It's like symbolism in movies and shit. They put that in here. Oh my God, that's fucking great.
Oh, really? I said, oh, swinging. The family, they found out on TikTok, and what they did was go around to everybody else and talk about us.
You see, they put more pineapples in their TikTok.
I said, oh, swinging. The family, they found out on TikTok, and what they did was go around to everybody else and
okay. Again, this may sound like I'm a hypocrite after my show the other day, but why the fuck would you put it online? Why the fuck would you put it online?
talk about us behind our back. So we've been together for 17 years.
Okay, now this is
we've been married for 15 years.
We did meet when we were younger in school. I actually had a crush on her. I tried to talk to her. She just totally dissed me. So that just made me want her so.
Oh, gee, I wonder why then you would have issues that you're not good enough for her.
Much more. And then later on in our 21, 22, we ended up meeting at the bar, and things just kind of went from there.
Yeah, we are soulmates. We finish each other's sentences from like.
Oh my God, she's using a metal
Yeah, so I've
fork in a
struggled with
nonstick
monogamy
pan.
my whole life,
Did you
ever
see
since I
that?
was a little girl. Yes, yeah, we are soulmates.
Look,
we finish
metal
each other's
fork
sentences
nonstick
from
pan.
like day one. Yeah, so I've struggled with monogamy my whole life, ever since I was a little girl and had boyfriends.
Okay, yeah, all like I don't care who you fuck at this point. Using a fork in a nonstick pan, Jesus Christ. Do you have to buy new pans every month or what?
Friends in grade school. I would have multiple boyfriends at the same time.
In grade school?
And then I cheated on
Jesus,
him with
woman.
like 4 guys. I was always open and honest about it.
Open and honest?
Monogamy is not natural for me.
Open and honest. Wait a minute. Okay, so again, one of the things I didn't get into on my show the other night is non-monogamy, right? Ethical, quote unquote, ethical non-monogamy requires knowledgeable consent, right? If you cheated on him, right? If you cheated on him, then there was deception involved. Like, if he agreed, hey, yeah, you can just go bang whoever, that's not cheating. But if you had to do it behind his back, then that's not open and honest. What the fuck?
I found out it was very devastating for me because at that time I could have been monogamous with her the rest of my life because I loved her like that.
Oh,
I was heartbroken to say
my
the least
brother.
about
Oh,
it because
shit.
I started thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good enough for her.
The bacon is done. It was hard for him to accept that I was only in love with him and only wanted to be with him forever, but yet wanting other men. It took a little while for you to really comprehend that.
It was tough at first, but now I get it and I'm totally on board and I love it now.
So we got into swinging
about
2 years ago is when we started couple
Oh my God,
swapping.
they have a damn...
We've been hooking up with unicorns our whole relationship though. So a unicorn is a single female that hooks up with couples, and we don't have relationships with these unicorns because we're not polyamorous.
Look,
It's
I was
purely
not...
hookup stuff.
Disclaimer, I was not planning on watching this episode today when I did my show the other day. This was not planned, but she's given the same spiel I gave the other day.
Here you go, baby. For me, it was just I just desired to be with other men, and then I would feel super guilty about it. And I have done it with every relationship. When I try to be monogamous, I am not the happiest person in the world. I'm kind of like bitchy. So.
You are very bitchy.
Well, yeah, but that's half the point.
I know.
That's half the point.
He sees such a difference now that I'm not.
Yeah, people tend to not like acting on every single fucking impulse they have. But it builds character. Not cheating on your partner builds character. And then eventually, the ick you get from not acting on your fucking impulses turns into an admiration for your partner. Turns into respect.
Not monogamous. Like he sees, like I'm just so much happier.
2020, right?
Yeah, you wish you would have done this years ago, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we've been together 17 years. We didn't know about Tinder. We've never been on Tinder. We've never been on dating apps until now. We did not know that you want to find photo verified people. Yeah. So we actually got catfished about 3 times.
Oh no.
Our family and friends, they basically all found out.
Wait a minute. Wow, look, I haven't been on Tinder much. But how the fuck does a couple use Tinder? Isn't it segregated by gender? Isn't it segregated by gender and sexuality? Like, I'm looking for a straight woman or a lesbian woman. They don't have like the sub. I mean, maybe I guess if you're a paid member, you can just look for polyamorous people or something. I don't know. But the last I knew, it was just, yeah, you're one person dating one person, you swipe, you swipe, you swipe. That must be hard.
That we were swingers through TikTok. The only one that didn't was my mom and my brother. Swingers through TikTok.
Okay, their family found out they were swingers through TikTok.
The only one that didn't was my mom and my brother. I had those conversations with them.
Hey, how are you? So nice to see you.
She was down visiting me, and she told me that her and Mark are dipping into swinging life. I said, oh, really? I said, oh, swinging. Really? I was surprised, not shocked, but surprised.
The rest of the family we knew would be judgmental. So yeah, they found out on TikTok, and basically what they did was go around to everybody else and talk about us behind our back, but never saying things to our face.
Never once came up.
Never once has one of our friends of 26 years said, I saw that you guys were swingers and I accept you for it. They all want to follow my TikTok, but yet you've been my best friend for 26 years. You've ghosted me. You don't talk to me. You don't answer my texts, but you think that you're going to follow me on TikTok? No, I'm going
to. Yeah, that's how that works. That's how that works. You've become a topic of conversation. And, you know, there are upsides and downsides to that. Yes, their toxicity, it's not in your face. You don't see it every day. It happens behind your back. And that's a double-edged sword, right? I'm sure a lot of conservatives can say they've experienced similar stuff with people who just don't like them for being Trump supporters or don't like them for their politics. You know, they get quiet, but yet they still want to hang on your nuts and hang on your every word. You can't let it get to them. As we like to say here on Mild's Culture Plate, you got to outlast the haters. But these people, there's something about this where they're learning a lesson. And that lesson is people don't like what we do. And they're not asking, well, do we not like what we do?
block you.
And then talk crap behind our backs.
And then talk crap behind our backs. That's what they do.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so hang on. We're over halfway through this, and there's an inconsistency I just discovered. I just realized. So she cheated on him with 4 men. But then she said when they started swinging, she wanted a unicorn, wanted a woman. So this isn't swinging. It might be swinging, but I don't know. We got to hear more. It might be swinging, but unicorns are so hard to get that sometimes, these swinger couples settle for another couple, and let the other dude play with his. Yeah.
It's been difficult because it's shown us who our real friends are.
Yes, I know there's some haters.
Yeah, this gentleman has an eye condition, so that probably adds to his self-confidence issues. I feel for him though, man. You gotta be more confident. You gotta not let this woman walk all over you. I don't care how much you love her.
And I think Christina.
There's some haters, and Christina handles it fine.
Christina's a very strong individual. I don't have any concerns. They seem to be happier than they've ever been.
So we're going to go TikTok live. We are going to see if our viewers have any questions. Do I want this part of my hair down? Maybe I do. It's ridiculous how nervous I get about going TikTok live. 27,000 of my followers are on right now, which is pretty good for
27,000.
Hello, TikTok live.
Am I on the wrong platform?
How are my people doing? All right, so let's take some questions. So he said, do either of you get worried about liking it better with someone else?
Oh, God.
We don't get worried about that. We have a very secure relationship. We've been
okay, but let me posit a possibility, right? If you folks in the chat, have you ever heard of what's referred to as an alpha widow? An alpha widow is the concept that there are a lot of these women who will always compare their mate to the best aspects of every mate they've had before. So it's not, you're not comparing your boyfriend to your ex-boyfriend. You're comparing your boyfriend to the most ideal parts of one ex-boyfriend and another boy. And you think somehow, after a while, you're comparing him to this invisible man that might exist somewhere that embodies all those traits. And so again, no, we're very secure that we won't like it more with this new person. Well, but you don't know. You don't know if you're going to hit it off with someone new. Now, granted, the concept of polyamory is that, your love isn't necessarily a zero-sum limited game, and that your commitment and honesty and passion for the person you're with should be able to tolerate some of that. But I think when you're speaking this confidently on the internet about it, when you're not being vulnerable enough about it, when you don't see it as a potential landmine, no, we're secure. You're not being honest, in my opinion.
Together for 17 years. And that's also where like the communication comes in when you're a swinger. You want to communicate all the time. If those feelings even start to happen, if like feelings that are more than just having a crush on somebody starts to happen, you need to talk to your spouse about that. Okay, good question. So do you ever get jealous? Somebody said. I don't get jealous. I have had like 2 instances where I've gotten irritated, but not jealous. I am very secure in our marriage, and I'll let Mark answer if he gets jealous or not.
At the time that I got jealous, she actually had a side piece, and mine
2 of
was
them.
kind of like ghosting me and acting a little crazy, and so I just cut it off with her. So I had no side piece, but she did, and it kind of made me a little bit jealous.
We definitely put on a show to the world, especially when I was a business owner.
And he's got self-esteem issues and feelings of not being good enough. When she's dating multiple guys and he can't get the chick to respond. I mean, this is the state of things. This is why I said on my monogamy show the other day, my monogamy and non-monogamy show. This is why I said it's easier to do this if the male is the focus. This seems a lot like she's the focus. This seems a lot like this is a hobby for her. And not necessarily a key component of their love.
Small town. Right. We just acted like we were.
He doesn't seem independent enough. Independent. You have to have an independent aspect of your personality to be able to tolerate being apart from your partner or seeing your partner. Or you have to just really be a self-loathing cuckold. You have to be super independent, or you have to be a self-loathing cuckold. And again, all these signs of how he doesn't feel good enough and how he got jealous this one time and the insecurities, as she's confidently saying, no, we're secure and we communicate. I don't fucking buy it. I can see through the veil of what you're trying to sell.
Just,
a normal monogamous couple.
We didn't want people to know what we did behind closed doors because we were afraid of the judgment. But now we just don't care. We're proud to be swingers and out of the closet. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Swinging has changed our lives for the best.
Extremely
not only
confidently.
are we happier, we're healthier, mentally, physically. We don't allow toxicity in our life.
Right.
We only allow positivity in our life.
We're active all the time.
We're active. It's made us just more attracted to each other. It's made our love deeper.
It's made her happy. I can tell he's miserable. Okay, folks, that was Love Don't Judge, aka Love Does Admonish. Because, again, I want to love my fellow human being. And I want to say that, I do think there's a small percentage of people that type of relationship might work, but it's very fucking small. And you got to be very fucking careful with who the people involved are. Because you're going to hurt somebody. And that guy, dollars to fucking donuts, is fucking hurting inside. But he's being a tough guy. He's being a man and saying, look, I can handle a little bit of fucking pain for the overall health of my family. Meanwhile, she's having her cake and eating it too. And, I mean, whatever works for them. I hope it continues to work and that they're able to do it in a healthy and honest manner. I guess that beats her cheating on him another 4 times, right? But yeah, I'm definitely judging and admonishing that I think they're lying to themselves about a lot of aspects of their lifestyle. Things that I talked about the other night. And look, I may have been lying to myself about how consensual it was with my partners, but like I said, they were able to call it quits at any time, and eventually one of them did, and it is what it is. All right, folks, that's going to be just about the show for tonight. We have reached way past 7 o'clock, 7:11 now. That's our hour for tonight. Hopefully you have learned at least something or have taken an interesting look at today's news. Hopefully this show does something for you. If it does, if this show does something for you, please click that like button. Really appreciate those who click that like button. Share it off platform. If you're new here, please watch a second video and follow the channel. Whether you're on X or Rumble or the YouTube, please follow the channel. And if you're on YouTube, click that bell for notifications so you know when I'll be going live next, which should be Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central. I'll try to let you know if it's going to be anything weird happening like what happened this week where I wasn't drinking and had to kind of rush through things. I'll try to give more advance notice on those things. And those advance notices will be happening at the social media down in the description, the Facebook, the X account. And yes, definitely check that X account to see if your congressperson, if your Congress critter voted yay or nay on that bill. Very important. Contact your Congress critters. Well, folks, take care of yourselves and one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I'll see you Wednesday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good night.